नाराए फारूकी व सहाबा।
Stand on the plain of Mina and turn back the clocks 1428 years ago. Go beyond that to the 13 years of Nubuwwat of that Mubarak Nabi. What didn't he do in Medina? Tent to tent, person to person. Man yu'wini, man yansuruni, hatta uballigha risalata Rabbi. Who is there that will shelter me? Who is there that will become my Nasir, my helper? One youngster says, I stood on the mountain of Abu Qubais and I looked down at Mina and I seen this individual person to person, tent to tent. And as he went conveying a message, some spat upon his face, some mocked him, some insulted him, some beat him, some picked up dirt and they flung it at him. Yet it is said he carried on in Mina, tent to tent, person to person, until the sun reached its zenith. And then he sits down out of exhaustion, and a young girl, she comes and she begins to clean the face of this individual. She begins to wipe the face of this individual and remove the dirt and the dust from the face of this individual. He said, I asked my father, Ki O Abba Jan, who is this individual who is not giving up his mission, who is not surrendering to anything? He's been beaten, he's been persecuted, he's been sworn at, he's been insulted, but yet the mission he is not giving up. I asked my Abba Jan, Ki who is this individual? My father then turned to me, and my father, he said to me, Ki this is Muhammad, the son of Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And that young girl, that was Zainab radiyallahu anha, cleaning the face of her father, and her father then said to her, the Nabi of Allah then said to her, O my beloved daughter, O my beloved daughter, do not cry, as your father will never be disgraced after this. After conveying the message of Allah Almighty, after conveying the message of Allah Almighty for 13 years, 72 people accepted Islam. And now they come and take an oath of allegiance. They come and take bayt on the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I ask, what was the oath of allegiance? What was the bayt that they took on the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, upon which Allah Almighty sent down the command of Hijrat? Ki O Nabi of Allah, now you and the Muhajirin of Makkah, leave your homes, leave your businesses, leave everything behind and migrate to Madinatul Munawwara. That Hijrat on which the Islamic calendar started, that Hijrat which is Ummah every new year is supposed to be reminded about. Abbas ibn Ubadah radiyallahu anh, he addressed that group of Sahaba-i-Kiram, he addressed that Jamaat of Sahaba-i-Kiram, and listen to the warning he issues to Sahaba-i-Kiram. He said, O people of Medina, O people of Yathrib, do you realize what you are doing by taking this bayt? Do you realize what you are doing by saying labbaik to the call of this Nabi? It is not a possibility, it is not a probability, it is not a likelihood, it is an absolute certainty that when you pledge allegiance to this Nabi, when you give your hand in the hands of this Nabi, when you say labbaik to the call of this Nabi, it is an absolute certainty that you have declared war with entire humanity. The entire world will turn against you. Your homes will become empty of food. The senior members of your family will be butchered and slaughtered before you. The streets of Madinatul Munawwara will be flowing with your blood. O Sahaba-i-Kiram, do you realize what you are doing by saying labbaik to the call of this Nabi? I ask, after this warning was issued to Sahaba-i-Kiram, then what was the question they then asked the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Ki O Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if we say labbaik to your call, if we pledge allegiance upon your hands, then what will Allah Almighty give us in return? And my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam responded by saying, Ki Allah will give you Jannat. Uqsut yadak. O Nabi of Allah, stretch out your hand and let us then pledge allegiance to you. Allah Almighty says in the Quran, कि amongst the believers there are men who have fulfilled their promise with Allah, men who have fulfilled their covenant with Allah. Some have given their lives, some are waiting to give their lives for what? So this deen could reach you and I. For what? So this deen could come to you and I. So that this entire humanity is saved from the fire of Jahannam and he entered into Jannat. So that this entire humanity is embraced by the fikr and the cry of that Nabi who night upon night cried out to Allah Almighty, Ya Rabbi ummati ummati, Ya Rabbi ummati ummati. For this was their oath, for this was their bed, for this was the oath of allegiance. And upon this the Islamic calendar started.